Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we tackle a very interesting topic. The inflationary crisis of the 70s compared with the current situation. Some argue that history is repeating itself, but is it really so? Let's find out. The inflationary crisis of the 70s was one of the most tumultuous periods in recent economic history. During this decade, the global economy faced oil shocks, recessions, and extremely high inflation rates. But how exactly does inflation work? And why is it so harmful? Inflation is the process through which the general level of prices for goods and services in an economy is rising. When inflation is too high, it can erode consumers' purchasing power and create economic instability. An important aspect to remember from the 70s is that inflation was only partially managed. As soon as the first signs of slowdown occurred, interest rates were quickly lowered. This decision plunged the economy into a second wave of inflation, much stronger than the first, which brought inflation levels to impressive peaks. Compared to that period, today we see several warning signs. Governments around the world have responded to the COVID-19 pandemic with massive injections of liquidity into the economy, leading some economists to fear a possible repeat of the inflationary crisis of the 70s. However, there are several important differences to consider. For example, the economic and political landscape is very different compared to the 70s. Today, central banks around the world have more sophisticated tools to manage inflation and are more aware of the risks of runaway inflation. In the current period, the summer of 2023, we are witnessing price increases in various sectors, but it is not yet clear whether this will lead to a large-scale inflationary crisis like in the 70s. Central banks are closely monitoring the situation and have declared their readiness to intervene if necessary. The challenge we face is therefore to understand how these dynamics will affect the global economy in the near future. The crisis of the 70s taught us the importance of prudent and timely management of inflation. This requires vigilance, readiness to act, and courage to make difficult decisions even in the face of signals of apparent calm. The debate on this issue is heated. On the one hand, there are those who argue that we are on the threshold of a new era of high inflation, similar to that of the 70s. On the other hand, there are those who argue that the differences between today and the 70s are too large to predict a similar crisis. So, is history repeating itself? The answer to this question is complex. While there are some worrying similarities between the current situation and that of the 70s, there are also significant differences. Certainly, we are in a time of economic uncertainty where attention to the management of inflation will be crucial for the future of our global economy. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to our channel to not miss our next insights on the topic.